welcome to Just Us Thinking for our after show.
Yep, we're going to talk about some giants.
Yep, so the main show was Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
The after show is going to be giants.
Yes, sir.
So, giants. What do you got for movies?
So I have the 7 most iconic movie giants. We got Lemuel Gulliver from Gulliver's Travel.
Oh, Gulliver's Travel, okay.
Mm-hmm. And then you have BFG from the BFG.
Yep, Big Friendly Giant.
Mm-hmm. And then you also have Baby Adam.
Baby Adam.
Mm-hmm. From Honey, I Blew Up the Kid.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
The 50 story tall woman, whatever it was. Is she on the list?
She's not. I don't think she's on this list, but
Oh, okay.
And then we have the giant from the Time Bandits. I don't think I've really ever heard of that one.
Okay,
He was the
I remember
gigantic creature that wore a large ship as a hat.
Yep.
Okay. And then we have Carl from Big Fish.
Oh, yep.
One of Tim Burton characters.
Yep, I know that one.
And then you have Fezzik.
Fezzik.
From The Princess Bride.
Oh, The Princess Bride, okay.
Yep. And then the Iron Giant.
Okay, technically he's a giant, but he's also a robot. So
Yeah.
I exclude him. He
Okay.
is, yeah, he doesn't exist.
Okay. Yeah.
Just building a robot to be giant is cheating.
Yeah, that kind of...
That in that
yeah,
case, Optimus Prime is a giant,
that's true.
Fair enough.
and every Transformer out there, except even Bumblebee. You see how big Bumblebee was?
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So yeah, robots are excluded from that list.
Yeah. Some of them that didn't make the list were like, like the Incredible Hulk,
Oh yeah, I guess he'd be considered a giant.
the 50-foot woman.
Yep, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, yeah, there's quite a few of them I found on here.
Parked my Cadillac there one time, and then I got lost.
Pretty interesting, so, yeah.
So now we're gonna go through the same thing we did for the Bigfoot. So
Okay.
we'll start with: do you think they exist?
Well, I mean, I guess that depends on what, defines a giant.
Right. We're talking about the huge.
Are we talking like mythical
Yeah,
or like
probably
human?
Yeah. See, this is why this makes this a little more difficult. So, no, I'm talking about like the
like trolls or...
well, trolls are trolls. Trolls, and some trolls are giant, some are not. No, I'm talking about like the 20, 30, 40, 50-foot giants.
No. I'd have to say no.
You would say no.
Yeah.
Okay. Mikey, do they exist?
No, I don't think they can exist.
Again, I my problem with if they existed now, I have the same problem with Bigfoot, only times 50 because they're huge.
Yeah.
Now, there is stories, and again, you got to give CGI, there's apparently where some mountains and some rocks look like a door, and it looks like they can't open it because it's too big, but there's been reports of something big enough that could open and close that door and has peeked out and closed the door on people, and people have tried to go try and knock on the door, and they're like, you're not going to hear it. Now, there's also a report of a guy who, I guess he was hiking up in the mountains area. He saw a giant. Mm-hmm. He started reporting it, and next thing you know, he was being followed.
Oh.
So he started getting followed by people. And all of a sudden, he got really paranoid. People started making fun of him. He went to go try to prove it and was never heard from again.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So that's a story of giants existing, but some humans, some government or secret agency was hiding them.
Well, that was like they had the movie come out a couple years ago where, the big rock formations that turned into trolls. Like,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
wasn't that in Moana, the big island? She was a big giant.
well, yeah. No, I think this was somewhere over in like Iceland or somewhere like that, or
Yeah.
something like over in Europe somewhere. I can't remember where.
I mean, so did they see the island or did they see the rock formation move? Is that what they're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, like it was a movie, and it was
Okay.
based on folklore.
Right. Have you seen some of those mountain ranges?
Well, not personally, but I mean, I've seen pictures, so yeah.
I haven't seen them in person either, but I would love to see them. There are like that the island the Moana. We've all seen Moana.
Right.
Yes.
Basically the guy stole, the demigod stole the heart, and then he gives it back. If you haven't seen the movie, spoiler alert, and too bad. But when she gets back, she lays down, and she just kind of blends in, and she's a mountain.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That actually exists.
Oh.
That mountain that island, that mountain island really exists, and it really looks like that.
Can we go?
I would love to. There's this one. It looks like a naked lady laying down. You could see her arm. You could see her leg. You could see side boob.
Oh.
And I'm like, 13-year-old of me would have been loving that. There's a lot of natural things that, like, again, I have to say, our eyes play tricks on us. We want to see images.
Yeah.
That's why when we do the ink blots and all that, we see images out of it.
Right.
We could look at, I mean, how many times have you looked up at a cloud and say, oh, that looks like a puppy, that looks like a dragon?
A
right?
bunch.
Yeah. It's because our mind has to make something, rationalize it, and see something out of it. And that's our imagination that goes, that's playing around with that, which is great, but it also does that with a lot of, things that we see that are naturally occurring. So it's kind of weird. So did the big ones exist? I want to say no, but there's a lot of stories in history that, say otherwise.
Yeah. I would agree with you on that one. So
My only thing is, how would you hide a 30, 40 foot person?
So, well...
Back in the day, mind you. Without all the special stuff.
Well, back in the day, it would be easier. There's no cameras, so you don't have to worry about that.
Right.
And if they live in a mountain range,
Fair
then how are you going to ever see that or know that?
That is true.
If they have underground, humans dig tunnels all the time.
It's caves.
Yeah, there's caves, there's natural caves, there's all kinds of stuff. So how do we know that some giants aren't living in a mountain range somewhere? The Alps have a whole network of it, and who knows? Maybe they're self-sustaining in there. We don't know. We don't know what they eat, what they need to eat, what they don't eat. They could be vegetarians and they're eating plant root and stuff like that.
Okay, fair.
The reality, though, in my book is I don't think our atmosphere will sustain something that big anymore. It's really big, so it's really hard to sustain that for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And I can't see that they are currently existing.
Yeah. I definitely agree on that one.
Generally, the bigger things are, the shorter their lifespan is.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to say, I don't think so. Now, did they ever exist? Do you think they ever existed?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of, there were
I'm like a 40-foot tall giant person kind of thing.
No, probably not.
No?
No.
Mikey, what do you think?
I don't think you can. I don't think so. No.
Okay. Not even now, even when the world could sustain large creatures like dinosaurs and stuff like that, you don't think that there was a primate humanoid that was that big?
Considering everything was else that big, I could probably see it.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
Now,
who knows?
the problem I have with that is we would have found fossils for that.
Yeah.
Because if it was a primate that was that big, that was a humanoid primate, I think we would have found bones by now.
Probably, yeah.
Fair
Because it
point.
would be a heavy thing, and they would have to find bones.
Yeah.
Now, this is where it takes a little turn here. So,
Okay.
giants for a human to be classified as gigantism, you have to be over 7 foot tall, right?
Right.
All right. So we also know that humans have been growing and taller throughout history.
Right.
Back in the Roman times, they were very short stature. As we've gotten, society has gotten further along, humans have gotten bigger and bigger as we go. So the average height of humans have been going up consistently.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So
There's a lot of tall basketball players out there.
right. So now that's where I would say, do giants exist in that scenario? Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Because we have proof. Who was the tallest man alive was Robert Waldrow,
Thank you.
and he was 8'11.1".
Wow. That's crazy.
I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at the list, and it is. I will tell you, they don't live very long.
Okay.
He was 22 when he died.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow. That
John Rogan is the second tallest at 8'9", and he lived to 38. Another guy on here, Willie Camper, 18. He was 1924 to 1943.
Oh, wow.
So I'm looking at the list, and there are a lot of people over 8 foot tall.
Jeez.
And all the way back to this guy I'm looking at here, Bernard Coyne. Is that right? Did I say that right? Coyne.
Cone. Yeah.
He died at 23. He lived from 1897 to 1921.
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot of them. Here, Patrick Cotter O'Brien. He was 8 foot tall, and he was 47 when he died, 1760 to 1806. So
That was a long, long time ago.
right. So now, if you look at this, if you were a shorter person, let's say you were just a little bit below average, and you're sitting at like 5'6", 5'4", and some guy comes over that's how much taller than you, like by feet. It's
that would be pretty scary.
yeah. I mean, you're talking 2.5 feet taller than you, and he just kind of walks over you, and he's dwarfing everybody.
Wow.
I mean, that's a giant. I hate to say it, but that's a giant. So, now biblical. If you believe the Bible, there's a biblical David versus Goliath.
Yeah.
So it's giants existed in the Bible. So I have to say giants do exist. Now, are they the huge monsters that people didn't think? Then I don't think I want to say it's a case of over exaggeration. It's again. How tall was Andre the Giant?
He was 7'4".
So now there's a picture of somebody. I think it's yeah, he was 7'4".
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a picture of Andre the Giant, and you can see if you can find it.
Okay.
Andre the Giant, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, okay.
Now, Arnold Schwarzenegger is not a small dude.
No.
Look up the picture. There is anybody else want to look up the picture? I would recommend it. It's a picture of Andre the Giant and Arnold Schwarzenegger. And there's another guy in there, and I can't remember the other guy's name. I know it, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. These two are holding Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they make him look tiny. Mikey found the picture. Yep, look at that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger's hanging off their both arms and is dangling off the ground.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
They make him look tiny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, how tall is Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I don't know right offhand.
Mikey, look up how tall Arnold Schwarzenegger is, because that'll be how tall is Shaq?
Shaq is 7'1".
So he is gigantism.
Yeah.
Okay.
Andre the Giant, of course, was 7'4".
Arnold Schwarzenegger is 6'2".
Yeah, he's
Oh, wow.
6'2", and those two make him look tiny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who else? Wilt
so
Chamberlain,
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yep. He was 7'2".
Okay.
Dirk Nowitzki
Yeah.
is an NBA player. He's
Yep.
7 foot.
Now, when you're looking at these guys and these pictures of guys standing by regular people, the regular people look tiny, don't they?
They
Yeah.
do.
I
like
mean,
his wife or girlfriend or whoever is in this picture, he's got to be like 2 feet, at least 2 feet, like shorter than him.
now I watched a roast where Kevin Hart was on it, and he walked up to Shaq.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, Kevin Hart looked like a baby.
Now there's also Kevin Peter Hall. He was the Predator actor.
Oh yeah, he was a tall guy too.
He was 7'3".
Yep. So there's a lot of, and if you start getting into the NBA and things like that, they're huge.
Yeah.
So can you imagine now? Back in the day, those people could be considered giants. I mean, they walk around and they'd be huge compared to the regular people.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Now the Big Fish actor Matthew McGorry,
Yeah.
he was pretty young too. He was only 32, and
Yep.
he was 7'6".
Yeah, so
Wow.
that's why I want to say Bigfoot and giants, they don't live that long, because it's a lot of blood to process through that heart. So they're generally their hearts don't hold up. So that's what happens.
Yeah.
So
And then there's also the guy in Happy Gilmore,
yeah, I remember him. He was huge too, wasn't he?
Richard Keel.
Yep.
He was 7'2".
Did he pass away?
Yeah, he was 74 though.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So it I don't think they all. I think it's a lot of stress, and I think you have to be careful with it. But yeah.
Yeah.
So okay,
Yeah.
that's
And
there's a lot of them. So
yeah, a lot of actors, mostly, of course, NBA players, but
oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's some pretty good sized football players, and all kinds of stuff. So yeah.
oh, the Addams Family guy.
Oh,
my
Lurch.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, Lurch, how big was he?
He was only 7 foot.
Really?
That's still 7 foot.
Yeah, but he lived to be 75.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
That's not too bad. So, I mean, can you imagine 7 foot? Can you, if you're 6 foot tall, and 6 foot's tall,
Yeah, 6
6 foot's tall,
Yeah.
and they are a foot taller than you. A foot taller. Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's
That's
crazy.
huge. Now, if any of these people happen to go to now Japan, Japanese or Asian culture seem to be a little more shorter stature as well.
Yeah.
Can you imagine someone, coming over to them who's a shorter stature? And I mean, can you imagine Shaq walking around Japan right now?
Right? That'd be kind of scary.
I would love to go to Japan with Shaq. Shaq, if you ever go to Japan, I'm with you. Because you know what? I'll never lose him.
Yeah.
I will never lose him. You can't lose that guy there.
No.
There's no way. Where's Shaq? Right there. He's 100 yards that way. There's like 2,000 people in front of him. Yeah, but you could see he's like, I think he just stepped over somebody.
Yeah.
I think I really think he could like just walk over people there and they wouldn't even know.
Probably, yeah.
He's that tall. I mean,
I don't think people there are that short though.
Sorry. I underestimate your size, but that's okay. No, I mean they're just they're shorter, they're smaller, they're thinner.
Yeah.
So when you see some guy huge and big like that, so I hate to say, giants do exist.
Yep.
So, Bigfoot, no. Mythical, huge giants, no. Regular giants, yeah. Because gigantism is a giant.
It is.
So, they
It's
exist.
a fact.
They exist. And most of them are really friendly, I tell you what.
Yeah.
Andre the Giant was one of the friendliest guys. He could drink like, oh my God, he could drink.
Well, yeah, I mean...
No, I mean, he could drink. I don't know. If I tried to drink just a quarter of what he drank, I would die of alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
Any
Any of us would.
But he was I guess that's a big boy. I mean, the bigger you are, the more you can do that.
The more you can handle, yeah.
Holy cow. That was a lot.
I bet.
Yeah. And I mean, he drank some hard stuff sometimes too.
Yeah.
So now here's the problem. Here's his ailment he had. He was always in pain.
Yeah, I think with being that big, I mean, you probably would be.
It's a lot of that weight on your skeletal structure, the damage it does to your heart, it just taxes your whole system. It's just not really conducive. And I'm surprised, as active as he was, and he was still giant and huge, but I mean, him standing next to Hulk Hogan made Hulk Hogan look like a play toy.
Oh wow, I bet.
I mean, oh yeah, when he used to wrestle in back when it was the WWE. Mm-hmm. Now it's WWF. But man, I will tell you, you're talking some big dudes in back then. I mean, there's some big dudes, and he dwarfed them. I mean, he just, and I think what, Hulk Hogan or somebody body slammed him, and I'm like, now we know wrestling's fake. Okay, it's not real.
Yeah.
Sorry to spoil that for you. But real or fake? If Hulk Hogan body slammed him, that means he had to pick him up.
And he can't do that. There's no way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you could do it.
Oh, okay.
But you know how much you had to train, you had to practice, and I mean, you got to be tough.
Well, yeah.
And I don't care, fake or not, you're a tough son of a bitch if you could pick up Andre the Giant and body slam him. Because there's video of him. He picked him up, he held him, and he body slammed him.
Oh wow.
So there's a video of it. So it really did happen.
Oh, okay.
So fake or not, you got my respect for being able to body slam. I mean, not only was he tall, but he was a big dude.
He was big, yeah.
If he sat on you, he'd kill you.
Yeah.
He would be. That was it. Now, he was the nicest guy. Don't get me wrong. He was really, really nice. I had to do. I was his bodyguard.
Oh.
And I was able to be his bodyguard once. And I met him. Nice guy. Mm-hmm. And I remember having the conversation. And I was in his hotel room with him, and we were chatting. I think we were getting ready to leave, and then the doorbell, someone, doorbell, I think it was a doorbell rang, and then the knock on the door.
Okay.
So it's like ding dong, dun dun dun. I'm like, okay, someone's in a hurry, and I'm like, okay, that's I said I was joking. I'm like, I think that's for you, and he goes, well, you get it. I'm like, you're my protection. You get it. And I went to the door. I was going to do it anyway. I went to the door, and it was one of the guys from the show that was like, okay, we're can you have we need you ready in like 30 minutes.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, no problem. I closed the door. I said, they need you ready in 30 minutes. And he goes, thank you. He goes, I feel so safe with you. And I joked. I said, you're huge. Me standing next to you, you're the threat, not me. And he goes, well, but you got the gun.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that's true. I said, but I don't think I could shoot you enough to stop you. He goes, oh, you wouldn't shoot me. I said, no, I won't shoot you. I got to protect you. I said, I'm like, but if we get in a shootout, I hate to say it, but you're not hiding behind me. There's just no way.
Right.
So kind of crazy that is just the way he was. I mean, and he joked around. He had a good laugh. So, well, one of my favorite persons I ever did that for. So, so giants exist. We know they exist. They're just not the mythos. I want to say probably what happened was, and I will say generally it's almost common that those big guys, even back in the day, were probably a bit of a bully kind of deal.
Yeah.
That's what I gather from the David and Goliath story.
Oh, true.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to gather it was just a really, really tall human. Probably, I'm going to gather he was probably about, 8 foot tall.
Oh, wow.
I would gather he was probably in that neighborhood.
Oh. Okay.
And then Jack, I bet you Jack, they always say that not Jack, David. David and Goliath. So they always, David was like the underdog, right?
Okay.
So he was kind of the little guy in the fight. So there's nothing that says, you know what, maybe David was like 4 foot tall. And then he was fighting this giant that's 8 foot tall. And he takes a sling and he hits him right in the head and kills him.
Yeah.
Well, that could happen. I mean, just because you're 8 foot tall doesn't mean you're immortal.
That's true.
But and if you looked at those two going at it, you see this little 4 foot dude and then this huge 8 foot dude. Two of them, he could stack himself on his shoulders and still not be taller. I mean, that's crazy, isn't it?
That would be kind of crazy to see, yeah.
Now, anybody watching that would tell you, yeah, that was David versus Goliath. He killed the giant because that's what it looked like. I mean, it's just crazy that would be. So I want to say, again, giants are a story of over-exaggeration
Okay.
of some really big dudes back in the day.
I would have to agree with you on that, yep.
Mikey, are you under the same agreement?
Yeah, I can agree with that.
I think there's the movies,
The movies just
make it,
over exaggerate it.
yeah.
People over-exaggerate.
That is true.
Because people make movies, so yeah.
So, and I mean, it's when legends like that happen. I mean, there are the only thing that could really survive really that big. Well, we know whales exist, then they're huge.
That is
So,
true.
I mean, but they're also supported by water, so there's a little bit different there. Things in the water can tend to be a little bigger than what are in land. Now, dinosaurs, the atmosphere was different when dinosaurs walked the earth. Those were giants.
Yeah.
So those are huge creatures, but they're also had a different. There was, I think, the oxygen levels were different back then when they were there. So if you want to time travel back to dinosaurs, you might not be able to breathe that atmosphere that was back then. You may have a hard time breathing. You might actually feel like you're on Mount Everest.
Oh, wow.
So it could be, I want to say dinosaurs, they exist, and of course you have that one smart ass that says, well, I know this guy that was just as tall as a T-Rex. I don't know why he sounds like that, but I turned him into a hillbilly, but that's okay. And then giants are living in the mountains. That's the story. So if anybody has actual evidence of Bigfoot or a giant that's not a CGI video, again, I'd have to I'd shoot the hell out of a giant too.
Yeah.
I'd plug him right in the eyeball. It's a big target too, apparently.
It is.
And if they're a cyclops, there's only one of them. But
yeah.
I mean, yeah, if giants exist, I think someone would have plugged one by now. Although I don't know, that might get you in trouble. Can you imagine? Oh, there's a giant, and you shoot him in the ass, and he turns around and looks at you. I don't know.
You would go flying, probably.
I mean,
He'd probably turn around and give you a swift kick in the ass.
Well, you're in trouble when you shoot him in the ass, and he turns around, doesn't say ow, doesn't say anything. He just turns around and says and looks at you. You're gonna be like shit.
Drop kick.
I'm gonna put down my gun, and if I don't move, maybe he didn't see me. But yeah, splat. I can see my house from here. That'd be the worst thing you could do.
That would.
Maybe I won't go shooting giants. That's not a smart idea.
Yeah.
If you can't kill
You
something...
can give it a try and see if it works or not.
Listen, if you can't kill it, don't shoot it.
Yeah.
You're just going to piss it off.
Right?
That's not a good idea.
That's not a good idea.
Don't shoot giants.
No.
So now I'm rethinking Bigfoot now. What if Bigfoot could take a shot?
Hey, probably could.
Maybe that's why no one shot him. And someone has shot him, and he turned around and said, "Urgh." That's what Bigfoot say. They go "urgh" when they're mad.
Rawr, rawr, rawr.
No, they don't. They don't go "rah rah rah."
Why would they go
Why
rar
would
rar
rar-
rar?
You upset Sadie with that "rah rah rah."
I like just saying that.
So no, you shoot Bigfoot, and he turns around and gets pissed off at you. I wouldn't tell nobody. I'm like, oh, did you find a Bigfoot? Nope. Nope.
He went all berserk.
You're
on
missing
you.
a bullet. Yeah. I accidentally discharged it. That's it. I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna go tell a story that I shot a Bigfoot. No.
Nope.
That Bigfoot's gonna go in there, and and then you run away, and then the Bigfoot goes back to his family, and what happened to you? Oh, some guy shot me in the ass. Like, are you okay? Yeah, I couldn't catch him. Was limping a little bit.
Yeah.
If I could have caught his ass, he'd have been our dinner tonight. All right.
Roasted hunter for dinner.
Roasted hunter for dinner. Throw him in with a bear stew.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's a pretty good episode for our after show, right?
Me too, yeah.
So, Bigfoots and giants. I think we got our good ideas there. So,
right.
Now, again, if you want to support us, we do. We'd love some likes. We'd like some love. We'd love some support. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and on X.
Yep. You can also listen to us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, your Google, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, and Samsung.
Yep. And then we also have videos, and the podcast is also on YouTube, Rumble, and we're also on TikTok.
Yep. So whatever platform you listen to, please like and subscribe.
And I think that would be our show.
All right. Bye, everybody.